Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Boxing Along the Beltway, our news and notes. And we have a lot going on this week, mostly out of the area. But we have some things coming up in the amateur rank, especially inside the DC region. And so we should have a lot of fun with that. Boxing on the Beltway news and notes brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief, from boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain and muscle strain, everything in between. Boxing Along the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. You go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. Well, let's start today with a big win for one of our Beltway gatekeepers. This is a gentleman who has been going for quite some time. He doesn't get the big wins most of the time, but every now and then he'll come up with a victory. And he never gives up, never stopped fighting. He's, for the most part, very competitive. We're talking about Willis the Prophet Lockett out of Tacoma Park, Maryland. He's a cruiserweight. And this past week, he broke an 8-bout winless streak, capturing a 6-round split decision over Brandon Spencer of Georgia. That was on September 2nd at Laney High School in Augusta, Georgia. And again, Lockett, definitely has an up and down record. He's fought a lot of people, a lot of great people over the years. And so he had an 8-bout winless streak. He lost 7 of those 8 bouts. But he came back with a victory here, 57-56 and 59-55. He won by scores by those scores. Spencer won by one score, 57-56. Now, this is Lockett's first win since December 2015. And he now has a record of 15-21-6, 5 KOs. Spencer had an upside down record too. He was 6-15 with 2 draws and 4 KOs. So it wasn't a huge win, wasn't an upset per se, but again, a win is a win. And every now and then, Willis Lockett gets one of those wins, and it's great to celebrate it when he does that. So congratulations to Willis the Prophet Lockett out of Tacoma Park, Maryland. Now, the schedule for this week, like I said, most of the pro stuff anyway, is out of the area. And that includes a big one for Greg the Sharpshooter Outlaw. He's out of Bowie, Maryland. He's a super lightweight, 3-0, 1 KO. And he'll take his first road trip. He'll take on Sidney Kilo Macau of New York City. And that'll be a bout that's now been moved up to a 6-round bout. Originally, I think it's supposed to be a 4-round bout, but it will be indeed a 6-round contest. That'll be at Resorts World Casino in Queens, New York. Now, Outlaw has fought all of his previous bouts at Rosecroft Raceway in first-round knockout, and he scored his first pro knockout in his last outing back on June 3rd when he scored a 4th-round TKO over Mario Perez. So this is a good venue for him. Macau is 4-6, 3 KOs. He's originally from St. Martin. As I said, he's now fighting out of New York City. And he lost 6-round unanimous decision to Anthony Laureano in his last fight on May 11th in Uncasville, Connecticut. Now, some of you may remember Macau. He lost his second pro bout against Stefan McDonald. That was back in November 14th at the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. So, that's a big win for him, and that was a big loss for him, I should say, but it was a tough loss for him, so he's kind of tough. Now, interesting about this card is actually being promoted by former world champion Hall of Famer Evander the Real Deal Holyfield, and some of the bouts will be shown on the CBS Sports Network, but no word yet on whether Outlaw's bout will be telecast, and it's up there a little bit, so maybe a swing bout, who knows, maybe a swing bout for television, so we'll see what happens, but that'll be on Saturday, September 9th, at the Resorts World Casino in Queens, New York. Greg Outlaw out of Bowie, Maryland, 3-0, 1 KO, taking on 4-6, 3 KOs. Anthony Macau out of New York City by way of St. Martin, and that'll be, again, on the Real Deal Promotions card in Queens, New York. Now, that leads to a lot of stuff going on this month in September. A couple of highlights. We're going to get more into these a little bit later on in the month. But on Thursday night, September 28th, Joshua Dynamite Davis out of Washington, D.C., he's 11-1, 5 KOs. He'll head to Louisville, Kentucky, and he'll be in a 6-round bout against Ray Lampkin, who's undefeated, 10-0, 4 KOs out of Portland, Oregon. And that's a big one. That's about scheduled for 6 rounds, we said. And that's a big one for Joshua Davis. He's 11-1, 5 KOs. And Lampkin is 10-0, 4 KOs. So, although Lampkin has not fought the greatest of talent recently, and actually Davis come out with a big win against a guy who was 7-1. That should be an interesting bout. So we should see how that goes about. That should be an interesting contest. That's on Thursday night, September 28th in Louisville, Kentucky. Joshua Davis taking on Ray Lampkin. Then on Friday, September 29th, a couple of Beltway boxers are in action at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Michael the Professor Fox, he's 14-0, 4 KOs out of Forestville, Maryland. He'll battle Marlon Aguas out of Ecuador, 9-1, 6 KOs. So this could be the toughest opponent that Fox has fought to date, although he's fought some good ones as of late. But this guy apparently has a lot of power, and be a good one for Michael Fox to have. And also on the card, Juan de Xavier Rodriguez out of Haymarket, Virginia. He's 7-1, 5 KOs. He'll battle Maynard, Mr. Marvelous Allison out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania by way of Siler City, North Carolina. He's 9-1, 6 KOs. So that's about scheduled for 6 rounds. No, that's about scheduled for 8 rounds as well. But I was also scheduled for 8 rounds. So we'll give you more details and give you a full preview on that one a little bit later on in the month. We don't really come back into the area until Saturday, October 14th, and we'll be live from the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia for the Victory Boxing Promotions card. We'll give you more details as we go along with that. Jason and Justin Bell are part of that card. So that's our next scheduled live broadcast at the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia. Now let's move to the amateurs real quickly. And one of the big amateurs, actually the big thing out of amateurs, big news out of the amateurs is that Troy Isley. Now, Troy Isley out of Alexandria, Virginia, again, proving his worth on the USA Elite team. He won a bronze medal at the USA as the World Championships in Hamburg, Germany last week. To have a bronze medal, outstanding performance, no question about that. In fact, the USA team did very well. They have 2 bronzes and I believe 2 silvers. Silver and 2 bronzes. So great work for the USA team. But Troy Isley, outstanding performance. Lost a tough bout in the semifinals, but he walks away with a bronze medal in a big tournament. So again, 2020 could be in range for Troy Isley out of Alexandria, Virginia. So we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, this weekend, free amateur action all over the place in D.C., all in D.C. It's on Friday, September 8th and Saturday, September 9th. September 8th will be at inside the gates at the Berry Farms Coliseum in Berry Farms, Southeast Washington, D.C., 1230 Sumner Road in Southeast. That event takes place at 6 p.m., hosted by, of course, Miles Rawls of one of the best summer leagues in the country, the Goodman League. He'll be the master of ceremonies, and he'll probably do a lot of the commentary for the fights during the course. And this is the 5th annual Friday Night Fights Inside the Gates. Once again, this will be at the Berry Farms Coliseum, 1230 Sumner Road, Southeast in Washington, D.C. The event is free. Then on Saturday, September 9th, all roads go to the Kenilworth Recreation Center for the 7th annual Dr. Arnold McKnight Boxing Invitational, also kickboxing and MMA exhibition event. That'll be at the Kenilworth Recreation Center. That's located on 1300 44th Street in Northeast D.C. And that's also a free event. And we'll get underway at noon. So that's great to hear. Great to see some great action there. Good amateurs. And, of course, in the Arnold McKnight's very special as well. Of course, honoring the longest tenured chair of the D.C. Boxing Wrestling Commission. So, should be interesting to see. Both events are free. Friday, September 8th. The Friday Night Fights Inside the Gates, Saturday, September 9th, at the Kenilworth Recreation Center, the Dr. Arnold McKnight boxing, wrestling, boxing, MMA, and kickboxing event that's be held there. Now, real quick, if you don't mind, I'd like to go off script a little bit and go away from the boxing just for a moment, because I want to give my commentary on one of the big events that has happened in my life in far as my love of sports in quite some time. As you should know, if you don't know, I am a proud graduate of Howard University, which is the mecca of black college excellence, and it's located, of course, in Washington, D.C. And this past Saturday, Howard University, the football program, had one of the biggest wins in, I think, definitely the program history, and I think one of the biggest wins in HBCU history. Now, to give you an idea, I've been a fan of Howard University since well before I went there. I go back to the late 70s with Howard football. My father was a scout for the team in the late 70s under head coach Doug Porter. So I've been around the program for a number of years, even before I started going to school there. And of course, I was 7 years the public address announcer. And out of those 7 years, I think really I'd say about 7 years, I was the announcer for the football team. And then in the mid-90s, 1992, 93, I was one of the color commentators for Howard University football on television. And, of course, saw one of the great years of all time, 1993. Now, prior to that, I also was around as the public address announcer for the 1987 team that won the MEAC title. And, of course, 3 years later, that title was rescinded because of an ineligible player. And, of course, in 1996, they also won the national championship, the Black College National Championship. And they had great players that come through there. I mean, Harvey Reed, Lee DeBose, Ted White, Jay Walker, Rupert Grant, Curtis Chappelle, Tim Watson, Mark Christie. These are some of the great names that Jose White that played at Howard University in that time frame. But what happened Saturday, and for those who don't know, and I don't know how you not know by now, it's been all over the news, thank goodness. It's been all over ESPN has done a lot of stuff with it. Been everywhere, which is wonderful and rare for Howard University football. But Howard University scored a huge upset, knocking off University of Nevada, Las Vegas by a score of 43-40 last Saturday in Las Vegas. And Howard was a 45.5-point underdog in that contest. And this was what was called a revenue game. In other words, this is a game where Howard University or HBCUs get money to come out and play those games. And we got $600,000. We had to make sure the band was going to be there, the cheerleaders, because they were all a major part of what was going on that week. And to go in there and pull off the upset was even sweeter. And, of course, it was led by Kalen Newton, the freshman quarterback out of Augusta, Georgia, who is, of course, the younger brother of Cam Newton. And he rushed 490 yards and 2 touchdowns and passed 440 yards and a touchdown as well. But the implications of this win just go beyond the actual win. I mean, for the first-year coach, Mike London, who is one of the better coaches in the country, coached at the University of Richmond, won a national championship in what was then known as 1AA, now called the FCS, or the Football Championship Subdivision. He's been there before. He was assistant coach at Maryland University for a couple of years. And for him to come in here and change the whole culture of the program, that was absolutely amazing. And you don't see that often. And I've been fortunate to be around some big wins in HBCU history. Of course, the big win Coppin State had against University of South Carolina in 1997. Norfolk State's win in the NCAA tournament, Hampton's win in the NCAA tournament, all huge wins. And this one ranks right up there with them. I mean, this is just huge. And I don't know how the rest of the season is going to go. They play Kent State this coming Saturday. They follow up with Richmond on the road as well. And then they come home. Regardless of what they do the rest of the way, this is a major building block for this program. Hopefully it'll mean that some other big name African-American players will give HBCUs a shot, because a lot of times HBCUs don't even go into the running with some of the major big-time players. And, when you look at some of the big players I've been around, I mean, Jay Walker, he transferred from Long Beach State. And Long Beach State stopped their program. And he came to Howard, and it was a huge thing and he did absolutely fantastic work for them. You know, Steve McNair, the late Steve McNair, if I saw him play at Alcorn State, again, the greatest football game I ever saw was when Alcorn State came to Howard and played Howard at Green Stadium on campus of Howard University, and Howard won that game, and that was not before Steve McNair brought them back from a 38-3 deficit. I mean, that was a brilliant game. Harvey Reed was a player at Howard from 1987 who could have gone to Michigan, could have gone to Florida, could have gone any place he wanted to go, but he wanted to come to Howard because not only did he want to play football, he also could run track. So that's why he was he was up there with Melvin Bratton. A lot of people thought he was better than Melvin Bratton, who played at Miami. Ted White was another one who was outstanding. Could have gone anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country. So, you know, we need to have those players. And on the basketball side, Howard University has a player by the name of R.J. Cole, who's out of one of the best programs. Unfortunately, that program is now defunct because they closed the school. But he came out of St. Anthony's High School in Jersey City, New Jersey, played for Bobby Hurley Sr. And I'm sorry, he played for, Bobby Hurley Sr. And he's a guy that could really make some major way for Howard's basketball program, much like Kalen Newton can do for the football program. So it is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And I'm hoping that some great things are ahead for Howard University. Again, if we go into the MEAC season and take care of business there, who knows what's going to happen the rest of the way. So congratulations to Howard University, my alma mater, HU, and all that. And I'm really great to see that. So thank you for letting me share that with you. All right, we're back again for another edition of Beltway Boxing News and Notes. Once again, Beltway Boxing News and Notes brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. Go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Thanks for joining me, everybody. And always remember to keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Thanks for listening. Take care.